Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Vickie's Country Home. Today I'm going to give y'all a garden update to show you what I've been doing and how it's working and just continuing to fight. So let's go look at the garden. Well, you can see how bad the weeds are, but we left them that way for a reason. We wanted to leave them so that the grasshoppers had something green to stay in and try and distract them from the garden. And it has worked all right. We have been putting down bait and that stuff. I'm really praying that it is a longer term solution. But we also put down insecticide to kill them, to keep them from getting in the garden. And we did that outside, away from the garden. And that has helped, because our neighbors have totally lost their gardens this year. Like they did last year. Mine's hanging on, and we'll look at that. But this is my container garden, and so far it's doing well. The grasshoppers can't get in here too easily, the babies. So they're really not attacking it much. And you can see that it is growing. My okra are pretty slow because of the cool weather, but they're finally coming up. So that's my rooster, King Kong. He's huge. He talks to me when I come outside. So this is all doing well. My comfrey is doing well, and last year they ate that too. So far we're holding on. It's not looking bad. I'm not seeing a whole lot of damage, and it's blooming, so that's all good signs. This is my main vegetable garden, and you can see the netting is working. It's kind of a pain to get to harvest, and yes, King Kong, we know. It's pain to harvest and weed, but it's given things a chance to grow, which last year they didn't. So you can see there's a lot that looks good. The only problem I'm having now, well, two problems. The plants are starting to get large and it's hard to keep them covered. And I did end up going by another 40 yards of the netting. That way, if I needed more, I could use it, but also they gave me a 20% discount for buying the whole bolt. So it really helped. But you can see everything's growing. So, and that was a grasshopper. See, they're out here, and the netting is keeping most of them out. Plus, we have killed a lot, so that helps. But things are growing through the netting and pushing against the netting, being held down, like these peas. I've got to get the netting off soon, so I'm gonna spray again today and put more bait out so that hopefully I can uncover these and let them start really growing. The other problem is they can't pollinate. That oregano is huge. It's about 3 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. But overall, everything's looking beautiful. I have blackberries, a lot of blackberries that are forming. And there goes that another grasshopper, a couple of them. But I will tell you, there's fewer than there were a few days ago, because well, I spoke too soon. A few days ago they were everywhere. But my blackberries are forming, and I'm so happy. Not too many raspberries, but I'll take what I can get. And I've gotten a little bit of this weeding done, but there's so much more to do. Again, I'm trying to do it without uncovering the plants too much. But they're holding on, so that is awesome. My cabbages, everything. Getting more little heads of broccoli. They won't be there much longer, but I'll take what I can get. My cucumbers are coming up. I'm not sure about the cucamelons. I'm still waiting. But the beans, these are the ground cherries, and I'm not sure if any of them are coming up or if that's just weeds. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to see. Last year they ate the onions, so, and you can see the grasshoppers, they're still here. Down there is the Seminole pumpkins from Crazy Days and Deep South Homestead. So far my war is working, but it's starting to be a challenge. These are my tomatillos. My squash is in there with all those weeds. But we're not done fighting the war. Like I said, my neighbors have lost their gardens already. So I'm thankful that I've saved this much, but I'm not finished. And you can see that they're just outgrowing the netting. Their garden bed. And whoa, this hops is just going nuts. And in this bed is mostly my tomatoes and peppers. And they are all doing well, and they're blooming. So I'm going to have to come out here and thump them to try and help them pollinate. But they're all looking good. And that makes me happy because I really want to get some tomatoes this year. These are all my pepper plants. They are doing good so far, but they're sure pushing up against the netting, so I'm going to have to do something about that soon. Plus, they're starting to bloom, and I'm going to have to open that up to let them pollinate. And I planted a sage down here. And there are some grasshoppers, but not as many as the other garden. But I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear them out here in this grass. And we're about to have to cut this grass down because, as you can see, it's dried. So they're no longer feeding a lot in it, but now it's fire danger. So it's not helpful to leave it up, so that's gonna have to get done right away. And we've already had a lot of dangerous fire weather already with very dry, no humidity, and high winds. So this is all gotta go. But in the meantime, I'm gonna come out and spray again and bait all over the place, and hopefully keep the grasshoppers down and the fire danger. Here's my grapevines and my peach tree. That peach tree had not a ton of peaches because of the freeze during the bloom, but it had a good number. But now the antelope and deer have come to play. So you can maybe see where they've been chewing on all of the branches and leaves, and they've eaten most of my peaches. There's a few. This one's down low. They missed that one. And there's a couple right at the top, but they have been out. So I put what I call hairy socks in this tree and in a couple other places. I had my hairdresser save a whole bunch of hair that she had cut. And I've been hanging bundles in the trees. I don't know if you can see that sock over there. Trying to keep them out. And it looks like it's working some, because I still have some left, but there's definitely damage. Well, a few peaches up there. You can tell by this grapevine, they're eating all the leaves. And there were some baby grapes forming here. And they're gone. I may just have to completely cover them in chicken wire. I'm not sure, but see, there's some grapes forming. But they have definitely been eating. This one was covered with grapes a few days ago at the top. And it looks like they've gotten all of those. There's a few down lower. So, if you have any ideas, let me know, because I've tried them. I've tried the wolf urine, which, oh my gosh, that stuff is horrible to even work with. And it didn't work. They still got into things. I just really don't have many options at this point. We've talked about getting the motion activated sprinkler, but using a lot of power during the night, because it would take the water pump, which is high power use, and also power to operate it maybe. I'm not really sure. Same thing, they've gotten a little bit to my roses. These had blooms and buds all over them a couple days ago. You can see where they've chewed them off. Those down there they've left alone so far, but they've chewed off most of those. It's never-ending battle. And they've gotten to this garden too. They've definitely eaten on my rhubarb back there between those rocks, and that one that I had just planted. Pretty much stripped that rose bush that you can't even see. They killed most of it last year. There's still one rose and another that are still alive, but I don't know if you can see these things hopping. They're everywhere. When I say they're swarming, I'm not kidding. They've killed those two, or at least made them die back, rhubarbs. They were looking good. They killed most of my apple trees last year, but so far, looks like they're still hanging on. So, that's my garden update. Hanging in there, but we're still battling the grasshoppers. And it's time to cut down these weeds, which will make them go try and get my garden. So, time to get to work and do what I can to fight these things. So, thanks for watching, and God bless.